I just stepped in dog poop. Here I was about to shoot the video. Somebody I knew just walked by, like, "Hey, Nick!" And they were talking. And then I realized, even though I had just saw it right before they said, "Hey, Nick," that's the dog poop. And it's on my shoe. These are like my old Sauconys from like high school. Man, I got dog poop on my shoe. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get the video started. Let's assume that you have the Norwood 3 going on, which I guess could be debatable, but ultimately when people see all my videos, look at my hairline closely, some have said I'm a late 2, others say I'm an early 4. The general consistency is I am a Norwood 3 when it comes to hair loss. So, I am not bald, I am balding. I'm pretty normal for a 35-year-old guy. And for that reason, I think with me being such middle of the road, I can cater to a little bit of everyone. Those who have lost a lot more hair at a younger age, those who are older than me but haven't lost so much. I'm standing in the middle looking at all this. So this topic today, I think maybe a lot of us can relate to, especially us Norwood 3s. And that is ultimately that every haircut I get, it's one step closer to baldness. So I'm 35. I'm actually going to be 36 next month in April. But I'm trying to think. I must have been about 29 when I feel, and you can go back and watch my other videos that show my hairline at different ages. I've made several of those. But I think if I were to put a mark on when I really ventured into Norwood 3 territory, I'd actually say 29. Age 30 was the first time I noticed thinning on the top, on like around my 30th birthday. But leading up to it, I was already seeing some other signs subconsciously, not realizing, because I knew about the receding hairline starting, but I didn't even know to look for thinning. Well, I was. And so I think it's safe to say 28, maybe even 29, maybe even 28 is when I started actually venturing into this territory where it was beginning to limit my hairstyles. Now, I will say that since that time, my hair has become even thinner, which that is another way that, of course, limits your hairstyle when you're dealing with hair loss. It's not like obviously thin, but I can think back to when, let's see, I was 30 or 31, I believe, when this story takes place, and I wanted to get my haircut short. So I wanted to go with like a 2 on the sides and the back and a 4 on top is what I wanted to do. Kind of like a military type of look. Just wanted it short, but I didn't want just a buzz cut all over. And I probably had about as much hair as I do now when I got, as far as length goes, when I got it cut that way. And then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, who's this old guy? Like, that's what I thought, because it looked almost like I had a dark halo over the top of my head, and just because there was that thinning. So like certain points were showing out more than others. And that's when I thought to myself, okay, so every time I get a haircut, I'm that much closer to balding. And it's funny because like even now, like this is pretty long for me. I usually don't have my hair this long, and I'm gonna be getting my hair cut soon, and I'm thinking I kind of want to get it shorter, but at the same time, like what do I have left to work with when I do? Like it could look different from the last time I had it cut shorter, which, you know, was October, which wasn't that long ago, but still, like, it's something I'm thinking about. And I'm like, well, maybe I should hang on to this length for a little bit longer and just get it trimmed up instead. Don't mind me. I'm going to actually wash my shoe in this water because I don't want to go back to the office and bring in the smell of dog poop, because I put my shoes in my, oh, you want to look at that? There you go. I keep my shoes in my desk drawer. And so I don't want to, oh man, here we go. And I'm trying not to drop this either. But there we go. Just kind of get it. Okay, now that I got the bottom wet, and now I can just kind of scrape it off. We'll hope that helps. So that's where I'm at. I'm just at the point where, like, I think in Norwood 3 for me, it's like I said, every new haircut, what's going to be left? What's the aftermath of this? And it makes me more reluctant to switch hairstyles, which I have been doing my whole life. I don't commit to hairstyles. And I think part of it subconsciously is I knew I always would lose my hair as an adult. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just see what all kind of hairstyles I can do. I don't know. It's just the way I'm wired. But now, as I'm venturing into that territory and it's becoming more obvious, I could get my hair cut shorter and think, oh, that's one more haircut I can't get away with anymore because now my thinness is showing or my hairline is showing that much more. And, you know, it would be more suiting just to keep this hairstyle. So I'm confident that if you're at a Norwood 3, that you can relate, because you're at that point where you haven't lost enough hair for anyone to feel sorry for you or really even notice it unless you point it out to them. But it's enough where you're seeing these little things like, oh yeah, well, life is slightly different now. I have to base my haircuts around this. It's my little secret. No one knows this, but I know it. Like, I'm realizing the psychology involved as I enter Norwood 3, and definitely knowing that every time I get a haircut, I'm one step closer to balding. That's what's going through my head right now. So we'll see what happens when I get my next haircut, and if it looks different than the last time I got that haircut. But I'm still trying to sort that out. But my shoe, like, dog poop smells so bad.